Hey everybody, hope you all are doing good today. Alright, so here are our notes for today. So we're going to expand what we did yesterday about finding the arc measures and everything, and we're going to add some algebra to it. Okay, so kind of recap from yesterday, we're going to talk about some of the vocabulary. So minor, if we had a minor problems, those were small problems. Okay, so when we talk about small arcs, minor arcs, they are less than 180 degrees. Okay, if we have major problems, so for a major arc, major problems, those are big problems. So we have a big problem, and we mean that by more than 180 degrees. Okay, all right, and now we're talking about a semicircle. I'm going to go over to the left here. I'm going to draw a semicircle. So if I have this guy right here, okay, what portion of a circle do I have? Well, I have half a circle. So a semicircle is half a circle. Okay, well, a half circle is worth how many degrees? It's worth 180 degrees. So we're going to say it is equal to 180 degrees. Okay? Alright, so let's go ahead and look at some of these examples down here. So this first guy right here, arc FHG. Alright, we got to find that measure. I want to highlight it real quick. FHG. Alright, what kind of arc is that? It's a major arc, okay? It's used 3 letters to name it, and it's larger than 180 degrees, okay? So let's look at this. A whole circle. How much was a whole circle worth? If you look up on the board, it should say 360 degrees, okay? Well, I know part of my circle. I know part of it's 145. I know that this part is worth 145. Well, if I take that part away, I'm left over with what I need. So let's go ahead and take it away from this 360. So 145 minus 360. Okay, so that's what it should look like in your calculator. And you should get 215. So the measure of what's left over is what we need, and that measure is 215 degrees. Okay, cool. Let's slide over to the right and let's look at arc KL. Now, instead of having one arc, or one portion, and having to find the other, I'm given 2 portions and I have to find a third portion. Okay, so if I look at these guys, I know that my orange right here is worth 130, and that my red is worth 85. Okay, well, if I take away those 2 portions from the whole amount, I'm left over with what I need. So let's go ahead and put that 130 plus 85. Okay, and you should get 5, 8, 9, 215. Okay, so if I have 215 as my whole, that's not my answer, but that's the portion that I'm given. Well, I gotta find out the rest of it. So I'm going to take my whole amount, 360 minus 215, and you should get, type it in your calculator, 145. So our portion of KL is 145 degrees. Okay? Alright, so now let's go down here to this next one. I have a little bit of typo here for you guys to fix. Instead of FHG, it should be arc US. Okay? And that's going to be this guy from U to S, right there, this portion. Okay, I have a little, some other symbols in there. Don't ignore them. We don't need them. They're not important. At least not yet. Okay, so I'm missing that portion. Well, I have 3 other portions that I do know. Okay, I know this. I know this. And I know this. Well, if I put them all together, with all the portions together, I get 360 degrees. Well, let's put those 3 portions that I do know together, and let's find out what we can get from them. So if we have 154, 60, and 86 together, I'm going to add them all together to find out how much they're actually worth. Okay, so 154 plus 60 plus 86 equals 300. Okay, so now I want to take my whole amount. That whole circle is worth 360. I want to take away what I know. I know 300 degrees of it. To find out what's left over. Well, what's left over is 60 degrees. And that's how much my orange portion is. So my orange is US is 60 degrees. Okay? Alright, and let's go over to here. Arc ABC. Okay? Well, again, I'm given two portions. Shoop, these two guys. If I put them together, 70 plus 75, how much should we get? That's right, 145. Okay, so if I take that portion away, I'm left over with what I need. So 360, that whole amount, that whole circle, and I'm going to take 145 away, and I get 215. Look at that. Alright, I have 215 degrees. Alright, cool. So that's a recap of yesterday. That should have gone by pretty quick and pretty easy. Let's look at these guys down here. So we're going to have two big ideas. We're going to use the whole circle, and then we're also going to use part of the circle. Okay, so the whole circle, let's focus in on that. Alright, is worth how many degrees? We were just talking about it. It's worth 360 degrees. Okay, so that's the idea that we're going to have with this thing. Alright, so in this triangle here, I have all these guys. I have 105, I have 53, 43, 35. Oh man, and then I have this. Negative 19x plus 10. Alright, well, we're going to use it. We're going to figure out what x is. Alright, so using what we know, the whole circle is worth 360 degrees. If I take each of those individual parts and I put them all together and add them together, I should equal 360 degrees. Okay, so let's go ahead and write it out. Negative 19x plus 10 plus 105 plus 53 plus 43 plus 35 equals 360. Okay, alright, so let's do this guy. Alright, we want to be able to make this smaller, and we can combine like terms. Okay, so what can we combine? Well, that 10 can go with that 105 because they're both plain numbers. Do I have any other plain numbers? Yeah. I have that 53, and I have that 43, and I have that 35. Then I hit the equal sign. Then I can't put anything else together. Okay, so now let's go ahead and type them in our calculator. So 10 plus 105 plus 53 plus 43 plus 35 gives me 246. And then I'm just going to bring that down, the negative 19 down, because I didn't do anything with it, and I'm going to set this whole thing equal to 360. There we go. Alright, now we just got to solve for x. Alright, well, using what we know, we subtract both sides from 246. That's my first step. Those cancel out. I get negative 19x equals 114. Okay, now the opposite of this is to divide. We'll divide both sides by negative 19. Those cancel out. X equals negative 6. There we go. There's our answer. Okay, so not too big. The weird thing is that, yeah, it makes it kind of long, but you'll get used to that, and you'll find some shortcuts if you're able to find shortcuts using. Okay. All right. So this next problem, same thing. Okay, we have different parts in this expression, so let's write it out. Negative 11x plus 6 plus 45 plus 87 plus 145 equals that whole circle. Whole circle is worth 360 degrees. Okay, so is there anything here that I can put together? There sure is. Okay, I got that 6, 45, 87, and 145. All right, and add them all together, and we get 283. So negative 11x plus 283 equals 360. Okay, now I gotta get x all by itself. So I'm going to subtract 283 from both sides. Those cancel out, negative 11x is left over, and 360 minus 283 is 77. Divide both sides by negative 11. I get x equals negative 7. That's an 11 over here. There you go. Alright, so there you go. Next problem. Next one's a little tricky. Shouldn't be too hard. It has a symbol for something. What is this guy? That little box. That little box represents a number. Do y'all remember how much that represents? If you said 90, then you're right. It represents 90 degrees. Okay? So watch out for those. Sometimes they'll throw them in there and you just have to know, hey, that's 90 degrees, and then you just put it in with the equation with the rest of it. Okay, so the rest of it we're going to put in. We have 19x minus 2 plus 90 plus 60 plus 50 plus 105 equals, how much was my total? How much was that whole circle worth? I put all those things together to equal 360 degrees. Okay? Do I have anything I can put together? Any just plain old numbers? Yeah, it's just these guys. Now, why can't I put that 19x together with any of them? Yeah, because I don't have any x's with them. So that 19x can't be combined. Okay? Alright, so when we add them all together, so you get out that trusty calculator, and we're just going to put these guys all together in there. So negative 2 plus 90 plus 60 plus 50 plus 105 should give us 303. Okay, so just rewrote my equation there. Alright, so now my first step to get x all by itself, I have to subtract 303, not just on one side but on both sides. It cancels out, so 19x equals, alright, what's 360 minus 303? You should get 57. Next step, let's divide both sides by 19. And we get x equals 3. Okay, there you go. So that was the one idea of this, using the whole circle. Now let's look over to the right side, and we're only going to use part of a circle. Okay, now I want to explain, there's a part of a circle on here that I want you guys to be prepared for, but we're not going to see in any of these examples. So let's look at this first one. You don't have to write this down, just pay attention. Okay, so I have that first arc, KNJ, arc KJ. Alright, there's another arc opposite of it, IH. Okay, so if I was given that 11x plus 2, and I know that the other side had a whole number to it, let's say the whole number was 84. I'm just giving it a number. I know that those two arcs are opposite using vertical angles. Okay, and that means that they're equal to each other. So the way that I would set this up would be 11x plus 2 equals 84. Okay, all right, and then you would just solve for x, throughout every day how you solve things. Okay, we don't have any example of those, so you don't have to write any of that down. Just know it. Okay, all right, so now we have this part. We have these two arcs. We have KJ, and I have arc JI. Well, together, I know that they hit this line together. Well, what portion of a circle is that? Well, that was half a circle. If you flip back, how many degrees was half a circle? Oh, it was 180 degrees. So I know that both those portions together, put together, they're going to equal 180 degrees. Okay, so I'm going to put them together. So 11x plus 2 plus 15x minus 4 equals 180 degrees. Okay, so I can put things together. I can combine like terms. I can actually combine something with that 11x. Do I have any other x's here? Yeah, I got that 15x right there. Boom. So I can put them together and I get a total of 26x. Is there anything else I can put together? Sure is. I got that 2 and that minus 4. Don't forget that sign in front of it. When I put them together, I get minus 2 equals 180 degrees. Okay, solve for x. Add 2 to both sides. Get 26x equals 182. Okay, gotta divide both sides by 26. Those cancel out. You get x equals what? And you get x equals 7. Boom. Done. There's your answer. Okay? Alright, let's go on to this next one. So I have 3 different parts here. So let's highlight what we got or trace what you got, see what kind of a circle we make or what portion of it that we have. So I have S to T, T to U, and then I also have U to V. Well, hey, they meet at that line that goes through that circle. Okay, it creates a semicircle. So I can put all these guys together and add up to how much? 180 degrees. So I have x plus 69 plus 45 plus x plus 84 equals, how much of the circle am I using? Half of it, which is 180 degrees. Okay, I can put things together. I got x with x, which gives me 2x. And now I can put the 69 with the 45 with the 84. Okay, use your calculators. How much do you get? You should get 198. Okay? Alright, first step we got here, we have to get x by itself, so I move that 198. The opposite sign of it is subtract, so I'm going to subtract both sides by 198. So I have 2x equals negative 18. Okay, it's okay, don't freak out. Yes, it is negative 18. Alright, next step, I gotta get x by itself, so I'm going to divide both sides by 2. You should get x equals negative 9. Okay, now if you guys want to, if you're not sure about your answer, like we had that negative number. We don't usually get negative numbers, so we can go and plug it in. So if we do negative 9 plus 69, we get a total of 60. Well, that 45, he still stays the same, so he's right there. If I plug negative 9 plus 84, put that together, let's see what that is. We should get 75. Well, I have half of a circle, which is 180 degrees. So if I put these 3 guys together, so 60 plus 45 plus 75, how much does that give me? Go ahead and check it. Alright, should have 180 degrees. We have half a circle, which is 180 degrees, so we got the right answer. Okay, so it should all work out and add up to the same thing. Okay, alright, so let's look down here. We got this last example. I have one arc right here, and then I got another arc right here. Well, I notice that it makes a half circle again. So I'm going to have 9 plus 8x plus 20x plus 3 equals 180 degrees. Okay, I can put things together. I can put that 9 next to that 3. Okay, and I get 12. And I have this 8x I can put with the 20x because they both have x's. And I get 28x equals 180. Okay, if you had 28x plus 12, that's the same thing. You're still going to get the same answer. First thing we got to move is that 12. Well, the opposite sign of that 12 is a minus, so I want to subtract 12 from this side, minus 12 on that side. Alright, those cancel out. I'm left over with 28x equals, use that handy calculator, 180 minus 12, and you should get 168. Okay, now my next step, I have to divide both sides by 28 to get x equals 6. There you go. Okay, so that's it for the notes for today, you guys. Remember parts of the circle. Remember that sometimes you might come across those opposite angles, and that they're going to be equal to each other. Okay, alright, whole circles are worth 360, so you add everything up to equal 360. Parts of a circle, half circles, okay, 180 degrees, so keep that in mind. Alright, after you guys finish these notes, go ahead and get on to the quiz and try and shoot for that 100%. You guys can take it as many times as you want. It's going to be as a homework thing, so it's not going to display on any computer. Sorry guys, but I will be able to see your answers throughout the day. Okay, alright, hope you guys have a great day, and work on any missing assignments you need. Okay, have a great day. Bye.